Hello, and I'm so glad you decided to join us today for Bottoms Down Chair Yoga for Everyone. I'm Carol, and I'm going to lead us through our poses today. We're going to continue with that Sun Salutation, adding in even more poses to that. And all you need today, we're going to stay seated, and all you're going to need is your chair without wheels and preferably without arms. You can use a block. And I'll show you how you can use that. And if you don't have a block, you can substitute a big book. And if you don't have either of those, don't worry about it. It's all fine. So as always, we'll upload this video later this afternoon onto our YouTube channel. Just search for Bottoms Down Chair Yoga and you can find this video and all the other videos we've done so far. And I hope that you'll give us a subscribe. All right, well, let's get started. So we're going to sit up nice and tall in our chair, so we're not leaning back. We've actually moved forward in that chair just a little bit. Make sure that your feet are firmly planted on the floor. So we're going to start there by grounding those feet. So first thing I want you to think about is we have 4 pressure points in both of our feet. So we have behind the big toe, behind the little toe, and the 2 points of the heel. So I want you to think about having all 4 of those pressure points of both feet firmly planted on the floor. We call it grounding. The next thing I want you to think about are your sits bones. Make sure that those bones in our hips, our seats that hold our weight, are equally weighted. So make any adjustments that you need to do to make sure that that weight is equal. All right, next thing I want us to think about is pulling our belly button to our spine. So I want you to constantly throughout this entire class think about belly button to spine, belly button to spine. So we really want to keep these muscles nice and firm and engaged throughout the entire class, okay? And if you sit up tall and lengthen your spine long, kind of like feel like you've got a string up here and you're pulling it through the crown of your head, that's going to immediately cue you to pull that belly button to spine. So it's good to keep the spine long anyway. We want to do that, but it's also a good cue to keep that belly nice and firm. The last thing we're going to think about is placing our hands on our thighs. So palms facing up, if that works for your shoulders. And then we're going to do the thumb to middle finger mudra only if you like that. It's okay if you don't. Let's close our eyes. Just begin to focus in on your heart center, thinking about letting go of everything outside of this room and just focusing in on your heart center. Next, I want you to begin to feel that natural breath, just your own inhalation and exhalation. We're going to take that breath and we're going to elongate it. So inhaling a little more deeply and exhaling a little more completely. Go ahead and do that a few times at your own pace. And breathe normally. Next, we're going to move into our diaphragmatic breath. We're going to engage our diaphragm, filling our lungs from the bottom up. As you inhale, the belly extends. That's why it's also called a belly breath. As you exhale, that belly button is going to be pulled to the spine, and you're going to push the air up and out of the lungs. Go ahead and do that a few times at your own pace. And breathe normally. Continuing with that diaphragmatic breath, we're going to inhale to 4 counts and exhale to 5 counts. Something like this. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. And breathe normally. We're going to do that one more time. We're going to inhale to 4 counts. Then I want you to exhale just as many counts as you can before you inhale again. Go ahead at your own pace. And breathe normally. Bring your hands to your heart and set your intention for today's practice, focusing in on what you want to accomplish. One more breath. Bring your hands back down to your thighs. Open your eyes. Let's drop our right ear towards our right shoulder. Drop your chin towards your chest. Drop your left ear towards your left shoulder. Just a little bit of stretching into the neck. And drop your chin back down towards your chest. All right, go ahead and look forward. We're going to look over that right shoulder. We're going to look center and then look over the left shoulder. Now remember, nice and gentle, right? We're warming things up, so we don't ever want to take any of these movements too drastically. Go ahead and look forward, especially where the neck is concerned, right? We don't want to overextend that neck or force it to do something that it really doesn't want to do, okay? We can stretch it, that's fine, but we don't want to force anything. All right, so let's take our right hand to the ceiling. Take our left hand down towards the floor. Now, if you are new to my bottoms down classes, you'll notice that I'm mirroring you. So when I tell you to stick your right hand up in the air, I'm sticking my left hand up in the air. Don't let it confuse you. Just, follow me. It's all good, all right? And it doesn't matter anyway, because we're going to do both sides no matter what, and we're going to come down. And let's do the other side. So I'm going to extend that spine long up, extend that arm up to the air. Other arm is down towards the floor, and I'm stretching. Really stretching through. Trying to touch the ceiling, trying to touch the floor. Stretch it out, stretch it out. One more breath, and come back center. We're going to add on to that. We're going to take that right hand up. We're going to put the left hand on the chair. We're going to extend it up, and we're going to lean into it. So now I'm really feeling a stretch on this side of my body. Keep this hip down, okay? That right hip, you need to keep it on the chair. It wants to hike up, but I don't want you to let it. That's going to increase that stretch. All right, let's come up, and we're going to do the other side. Up we go, up, 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 up. Extend it up. This hand goes on the chair. Lean into it. You're supporting your body with that supporting hand here, right? If you don't want to have it on there, you don't have to. But I like doing it because I feel like I can stretch a little deeper knowing that I've got that support on that chair. Let's come up. We're going to add one final thing on. Up we go. Up, 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 up. This hand is here for support. Lean into it. Feel the stretch. Now, I just want you to turn and look up at the ceiling. So we're adding a little twist, just a baby twist, as we begin to warm up the side waist muscles. Take that twist out. Come up, and let's do the other side. So we're going to extend that hand up towards the ceiling. This other hand is on the chair. We're going to lean into it, feeling the stretch, keeping that opposite hip down. We're going to turn and just look up at the ceiling. Just gives you a baby twist. Take that twist out and come up, and let's roll those shoulders. Just a little rolling of the shoulders, and reverse that roll. Good. Okay, take your left hand, bring it on the outside of your right knee, okay? This other hand is going to come back by your hip. Remember, shoulder comes back. So think about shoulder back, then turn and look over that shoulder. We're breathing, breathing, breathing. Let's release it, and we're going to go to the other side. This hand is going to come to the outside of the knee. Other hand is going to be on the chair back behind my hip. Extend the spine long. Shoulder is back. Then turn and look. I know there's a lot of things to think about. I know. And release it. All of those movements have a purpose, okay? So it's kind of important that you try to follow along. And I know there's lots going on. I get it. Okay, so now we're going to do our cat and cow. So my hands are going to be here on my thighs, my belly button to spine. I'm going to pull my belly button in, round my shoulders, Tuck your chin. You're looking down at your lap. You should feel a nice stretch through the shoulders, upper back, the neck. Okay, now we're going to lift up, and you're going to grab the back of your chair, and you're going to lift your heart up. So here's a seated cow pose. All right, so we're feeling that opening through the shoulders. We're feeling that stretch. Let's do that again. Round it down into your cat pose, and then lift up into your cow pose. And just breathe a natural breath. Do not worry about a yoga breath at this point. We'll add that in a little bit, and let's release it. Roll those shoulders. And maybe reverse that roll. That's good. Reversing that roll. All right. Very, very good. Okay, so we're going to move into our sun salutation. But first of all, I want to show you the poses that we're going to be adding in, at least version 1 of the pose. So what we're going to do is, first of all, I want you to think about the positioning of your feet and your legs. So you don't want to have your legs at a pretty wide position. You want to bring those legs in to where they're a natural extension of your hips, okay? So bring those legs in. The second thing I want you to think about is if you have your feet too far forward, it's going to make this way harder than it needs to be, okay? So you want to bring those feet back. You don't want your knees to be in front of the toes, but you want you to have that 90-degree angle so that when you press through your heels, you have a little bit of leverage. So chair pose is what we're going to be adding in. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to place our hands on our thighs right here. Belly button to spine, super tight, okay? So pull that belly in. Activate your quadricep muscles, these big thigh muscles, you're going to engage them. You're also going to be engaging your seat, your glute muscles, okay? Your gluteus maximus muscles. You're going to be squeezing all of these muscles. And we're going to take a deep breath in, and on an exhale, we're not coming out of the chair. We're just going to lift, just a barely lifting. And it's not even coming out of the chair. It's as if you're going to try to stand up, but you're not, and then you're going to release it. I want you to feel that first, okay? Let's do that again. Get everything squared away. Take a deep breath in on an exhale. Squeeze it all. Squeeze your quads. Squeeze your belly. Arms are engaged. You're pressing against those thighs. One more breath and release it. We're going to do that one more time. Inhale here. Press it into that seated chair pose. Breathe, release, and take a break. Okay, so there is version 1 of our chair pose, and we're going to add that in to version 1 of our sun salutation. So if you weren't here last week, don't worry, I'm going to guide us through the whole thing. So I will tell you, if you have your block handy and you want to place it here between your feet, that's going to help when we come into our forward fold, okay? So your forward fold can be here, but it can also be with your hands on your block. So if you have that block handy and you want to go ahead and have it to use, that's fine. And if you don't have it handy, I will show you how you can use your legs for that support. Let's do it. Bring your hands to your heart. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Bring those hands up all the way to mountain pose. Bring your hands to your heart. Inhale here, exhale up. We're going to take that big circle around, palms are facing down. Bring your hands to your heart. Inhale here. Active arms. Really activate those arms. Stretching as much as you can. Bring your hands to your heart and press those palms together. Inhale here. Up we go. Big circle around. Listen, we're going to go all the way to mountain pose here. Interlace your fingers, point your finger to the ceiling. Let's lean that mountain. Come up, and we're going to lean that mountain. Come up. Listen to my voice. We're coming straight into that forward salute with airplane arms, okay? My arms are back beside me. I'm shooting my head where the ceiling and the wall meet. My arms are pressing behind, and I'm stretching. I'm going to come into that forward fold. So my arms are on my thighs for support, and I'm going to let my heart fall forward. Here is our forward fold version 1. You can let your head fall if you wish. Breathe into it. Now, pull your belly button tight. Roll up nice and slow. Rolling up, kind of stacking one vertebra on top of the other, and we come to a seated position. Two things to think about. Remember, how does that low back feel? And how are you dizzy, okay? So if your low back is feeling pretty good and you don't feel dizzy and you want to add on to that forward fold, I'll show you that this time. Here we go. We're not adding the chair pose yet. We'll add it here in just a second. Up we go. Big circle around. Bring your hands to your heart. We're going to leave out that leaning. We're going to come straight to that forward salute. Stretch it out. Extend those spine long. Hands behind you, one more breath, come into that forward fold. Maybe you're right here and this is just fine. If you want a little bit more, if your back feels good, you can bring your hands to your shins and let your heart fall forward a little bit more. If you have your block, maybe your hands are on that block and maybe you're turning that block to where your heart is coming farther to the floor. It's your choice. Tuck your chin, roll it up. Stacking one vertebra on top of the other, we're coming back to a seated position. Okay, this time from forward fold, we're going to be adding in that chair pose. And I want us to add it from this forward fold position first. Here we go. Bring your hands to your heart. Up. There's your sun. Bring your hands to your heart. We're going to go up to mountain, and then we're going to come to that forward salute. Stretch it out. Extend the spine long. One more breath. Place your hands on your thighs and let your heart fall. Now listen to me. Take a deep breath in, and on an exhale, place your hands on your thighs. Act like you're going to get up out of the chair. Activate your chair pose. Belly is tight. Press, 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 and come to a seated position. Hands to heart. Inhale here. Up we go. Big circle around. Bring your hands to your heart. Up to mountain. We're going to come right into that forward salute. Airplane arms. Stretch it out. Forward fold. Arms on the thighs. Let that heart fall. Put your hands onto your thigh. Act like you're going to get out of the chair. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Have a seat. Bring your hands to your heart. Up we go. Bring your hands to your heart. Up. We're going to move into that forward salute. We're going to stretch that spine. We're going to place our arms on our thighs. We're going to let our heart fall, forward fold, and then we're going to come into that chair pose. Breathe, stretch, stretch, stretch. Hold it, hold it, hold it, and release. Okay. Whew, right? How do you feel? So you'll see we use that chair pose, that seated chair pose. We're pressing on those thighs, and that is just fine. If you want to stay right there, stay right there. The next version of that is we're going to take our hands off of our thighs and we're going to bring them to our heart. So you're still, let me show you from the side. You're still leaning forward, right? I'm acting like I'm taking my seat up, but I'm not. It's staying on the chair. It's almost harder to do it that way than it is to go ahead and stand up, right? So I'm going to bring my hands to my heart, and I'm going to do that same motion. I'm not, my back is at that little bit of a diagonal. Do you see that? I'm pressing through the heels. I'm activating my quads. I'm activating everything is super, super working together. I'm pressing my palms together, and that's my next version of my seated chair pose. Okay, I'm going to readjust. Make sure my feet are in alignment. If you want to have that block there, go for it. You know how to use that block. Otherwise, you can use your hands. We are going to be coming a little bit further down as we move then into our chair pose. Are we ready? Hands to heart. Here we go. Big circle. There's our beautiful sun. Bring those hands to heart. We're going to go straight to mountain pose, into that forward salute. We're going to stretch, stretch, stretch. We're going to come into that forward fold. Maybe you're here, maybe you're here. I don't care. Bring your hands to your heart. Lift your heart a little bit and then engage into that seated chair pose. My quadriceps are engaged, my belly's engaged, my hips are engaged. One more breath and release. Okay, I want to show you one more thing real quick. So what can happen is we can be down here, right? And then here we think this is our chair pose. Well, I'm here to tell you, this is super easy to do, frankly, because you're not really engaging the quadriceps. You're so far down here, all you're doing is kind of lifting that hip up. And that's not what I want you to do. So I want you to come up into that angle. See, even if we're starting from here, we've got to bring the heart up. Do you see the difference, right? We're not going to be here. We're going to be here. All right. Here we go. Hands to heart. Big circle around. Bring your hands to your heart. Here we go, up and forward salute. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Forward fold, your version. Maybe you're right here. This is fine. Forward fold. Bring your hands to your heart. Press those palms together. Act like you're going to get out of the chair, but you're not getting out of it. You're holding, holding, holding. One more breath and release. Okay. So checking in, how's everything feeling? Is your back feeling okay? Are you getting dizzy? Remember all of those cues that you gotta listen to your body. It's not like I have you in a class where I can go around and kind of check on everybody, right? You've got to pay attention to your body and do what works for you. All right, now we're going to move from our chair position, our chair pose, where we're actually kind of trying to get out of the chair, to where we're actually getting out of the chair. But here's the thing. We're not getting out of the chair a lot. We're staying right here. So if you stand up, you're deactivating all the work in the quadricep muscles, in the core, in the glutes, okay? So we don't want to stand up. We want to stay right here, okay? So this is chair pose. Notice that my knees are not in front of my toes, right? My knees are back. You shoot your hips back. So as I stand up, all I'm doing is I'm pushing through my heels and I'm just lifting my hips up, okay? Remember, you can stay with version 1. If this version works best for you, that's perfectly fine. If you don't want to take that seat up off the chair, it's okay. Hands to heart. Big circle around. Bring your hands to your heart. Inhale, up we go. Let's exhale into that forward salute. Stretch it out. One more breath. Forward fold, your version. Whatever version works for you. Take a deep breath in. On an exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Actually, I changed my mind. Bring your hands to your thighs and come into that chair pose. We can start here where you've got a little extra pressure, right? You can extra work. You can help yourself a little bit more by pressing into those thighs. One more breath and have a seat. Hands to heart. Here we go. Up. Inhale here, exhale, hands to heart, up we go. That's your inhale. Exhale into that forward salute. If you want to add the breath, do so. If you don't, it's okay. Bring your hands to your thighs for that forward fold, or your hands are here, or your hands are on the floor. Take a deep breath in, and on an exhale, I'm going to bring my hands now to my heart, and I'm going to come into that seated chair pose. Or that chair pose. It's not really seated anymore, is it? Oh yeah, one more breath and have a seat. We're going to do that again. Hands at heart, big circle. Bring your hands to your heart. Up we go. Forward salute, stretch it out, hands down for that forward fold, your choice of location of those hands. Bring your hands to your heart, press through your heels, core is engaged. See if you can come up out of that chair. Notice where is your knees in relationship to those toes. Make sure your hips are back, your heart is lifted, you're breathing, and take a little break. Ha, right? If you have water and you want to take some water, I know you probably have your heart rate up a little bit. I know I do. Okay, are we ready? We're going to do that one more time. So, what we're adding here is we're just going to hold that chair pose for a little bit longer. So as we move into that chair pose, we're going to hold it and we're going to work on some strength. So yoga isn't only about lengthening. People always think about yoga as just how long can I make my muscles, which is certainly part of yoga, no question. But it's also building strength. And this is one of those poses that really begins to build into that strength. So it's kind of getting us ready for the next poses. All right, we're going to bring our hands to our heart. We're going to inhale here. Exhale, up we go. Bring your hands to your heart. Up we go on that inhale. We're going to come to that forward salute and stretch it out. Extend those arms behind you. Really shoot your head forward. Bring your hands, either your arms to the thighs or your hands to the floor or anywhere in between for your forward fold. All right, bring your hands to your heart. Take a deep breath in, your version of chair pose. You can have your hands here, you can have your hands here, you can have your seat on the chair. Whatever you are, lift that heart up. I just realized that I had my heart pretty low. Make sure that your knees are behind those toes, right? Are you feeling it? Oh yeah, I feel it. Belly is tight, shoulders are down, pressing those palms together. Activate that upper body. Can you do it? Just 2 more breaths. 1 more breath and have a seat. Ha, hands to heart. Here we go. Up we go. Big circle around. Bring your hands to your heart. Up we go. Forward salute. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Forward fold. Your version. Bring your hands to your heart and come into your version of chair pose. Remember what all we're working toward. We're getting those quadriceps engaged, that belly is tight, our glutes are engaged, our palms are pressing together. We're breathing, we're breathing, we're breathing, and we're going to have a seat. We have 1 more. We can do this. Big circle up. Bring your hands to your heart. Up we go. Forward salute. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Forward fold, your version. 1 more breath, hands to heart, and up into chair pose. Don't forget to breathe. Don't forget to breathe. 1 more breath, and have a seat. Grab some water if you want it. Okay, very, very good. We are going to move into some final movements, some final stretches. All right. So we're going to take that left arm and we're going to bring it around. Actually, you know what? I'm going to change my mind on that. Let's take that right knee and open it nice and wide. Oops, I need to move my block. So we're going to take Lord of the Fishes pose. It's similar to the one I was just about to do, but it takes a little bit of inner thigh stretching as well, and I like that. So 1 knee is going to continue to face me. 1 knee is going to face out to the right. See how I've got that big stretch going on in those inner thighs? So take that left arm, we're going to bring it all the way across our body and grab the chair, okay? Crown of the head is going to lift to the ceiling. Then you're going to turn and look over the back of your chair. So at this point, you're not looking at me. You're looking over the back of your chair, okay? Feeling the stretch. 1 more breath. All right, let's release it, and we're going to do that again. Come across the body, extend the crown of the head long, and look over the back of your chair, and breathe. And release it. All right, come forward. The same left leg, we're going to extend it out in front of us, toes to the ceiling. Extend the spine long, let that heart fall forward. You can have your hands on the thighs for support. Keep the back flat to maximize the stretch into that hamstring. Lift your heart up, and we're going to do that again. Extend, let the heart fall. And lift it up. We're going to move, that's a pyramid pose. We're going to move into that eagle pose. So you can do ankle to ankle, or you can do ankle to knee. We're going to extend our spine long, and we're going to let that heart fall forward. Lift it up, and we're going to do that 1 more time. Actually, we're going to rock our baby first. And then we're going to do that again. Extend the spine long. Let that heart fall forward. Breathe into it. Lift your heart. Go ahead and rock your baby 1 final time. And we're going to extend the spine long and let our heart fall forward. All right, come up and we're going to do the other side. So now I'm going to take my left knee and open it wide. So you've got 1 knee facing me and 1 knee facing out to the side. Take that right arm, bring it across your body, crown of the head lifts, turn and look over the back of your chair. And we're going to release that, and we're going to do that again. Come across your body, lift and twist. So paying attention, this knee always wants to fold in, just don't let it, right? So get a nice stretch on that inner thigh as well. All right, release it. This leg is going to extend long in front of you, toes to the ceiling. Lift and hinge. Pyramid pose, stretching into that hamstring. Lift your heart up, and we're going to do that 1 more time. Extend and hinge. All right. We're going to move into that cross our ankle to ankle, or you're going to cross your ankle to your knee. You're going to extend the spine long and let that heart fall forward into our seated pigeon pose. Lift your heart up, rock your baby. Maybe you prefer fluttering the butterfly. That's fine too. We just want to move that joint a little bit, right? And then we're going to extend the spine long and let our heart fall forward. One more little flutter, or you can rock your baby. And let's extend that spine long. Let that heart fall forward, breathing into that stretch. One more breath. All right, wonderful. Such good work, you guys. Let's go ahead and sit back in our chair. You can lean back now, yay, right? So if it works for you to close your eyes, it just lets you concentrate and focus on your heart center. If you just prefer to look down at your lap, that's fine too. Take one very deep breath and let it all release. Living responsibly. Living responsibly does not make you immune to life's tragedies and disruptions, but it sure puts you in a better place and gets you to a better place when they happen. Life is not fair. Over the long term, life discriminates in favor of those who act with responsibility. Certainly, there is way too much injustice in the world with plenty of innocent victims. Such a situation makes personal responsibility difficult, but that does not diminish its power to enrich life. Some people are fortunate to understand the value of responsibility beginning when they are young. Yet it is never too late to embrace more responsibility for yourself, for your world, no matter what you start with. Even when it's not your fault, even when you have no support, you can make it your responsibility. Persist in that choice, and you put yourself in a position of power. How can you respond in a positive way that benefits yourself and others? That's responsibility, and it's always your most effective way forward. Drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. Extend your left arm towards the floor, palm down. Lift the palm up towards the ceiling. And release it. Drop your chin towards your chest. Let the head fall. Feel the stretch in the back of the neck. Release it. Drop your left ear towards your left shoulder. Extend the right arm towards the floor, palm facing down. Flip the palm up towards the ceiling. And release it. Bring your hands to your heart. Honoring one another, we say Namaste. Thanks so much for joining today, and remember, this video will be uploaded to YouTube. Just go to Bottoms Down Chair Yoga and take a look.